Welcome to Storied Audio. Ethan Caldwell had always believed in loyalty. Not the loud kind people bragged about, but the quiet kind that lived in the bones, built from years of trust, family dinners, late-night talks with his younger sister Lily, and the soft laughter of his girlfriend Morgan. For 3 years, Morgan had been the light that steadied his chaotic world. And Lily, his confidant, had always been the ground beneath his feet. The betrayal didn't strike like lightning. It seeped in slowly like a cold draft under a door. A friend of a friend mentioned seeing Morgan in another town, hand in hand with someone who wasn't Ethan. Another recalled a strange glance, a suspicious text left open on her phone. Ethan brushed it off, because doubt is a quiet creature at first. But it digs. Claws. It waits. The truth came on an ordinary afternoon. He borrowed Morgan's laptop to submit a job application. A folder labeled miscellaneous caught his eye. Innocent, forgettable. Inside were screenshots, messages, videos. Evidence. Intimate. Frequent. And the man in the messages was someone Ethan recognized. An old coworker of hers, someone he had once shaken hands with at a party. Months of lies stared back at him. But the worst part wasn't Morgan. It was Lily. She had known. She had covered for Morgan. Lied for her best friend while looking Ethan in the eye every single day. When he confronted them, Morgan silent and shaking, Lily stumbling over apologies. Something inside him ruptured. "You knew," he said, voice trembling. "You knew and you didn't tell me." "I was trying to protect you," Lily whispered, tears spilling. "I thought she'd stop. I didn't want to lose either of you." "You did lose me," Ethan replied. "I don't have a sister anymore." Within a week he packed what he could into his car and drove out of Maryland with no destination, just west. He left behind memories, belongings, his job, and the family that had once meant everything to him. He blocked Morgan. Blocked Lily. His parents begged him to talk, to come home, to try. He sent one email. "Don't ask me to forgive her. I won't. I'm gone." He ended up in a quiet coastal town far from the noise and the betrayal. He found work in a small woodworking shop and rented a modest house surrounded by pines. The air smelled different, cleaner. His neighbors were kind but distant. He preferred it that way. Years passed. He rebuilt himself slowly. He stopped thinking about Morgan. But forgetting Lily was harder. Some nights he woke from dreams of them as kids, racing through the backyard, laughing in the rain. Then he'd remember her face the day he left, pale, trembling, desperate. And he'd bury her all over again. Then one gray Wednesday in March, a pale blue envelope arrived. No return address. "Dear Ethan, I don't know if you'll read this or tear it up like I probably deserve. I'm sorry." She wrote about regret, therapy, their parents, her attempts to rebuild herself. She didn't beg. She didn't ask for forgiveness. She simply wrote. And every other month another letter arrived. Ethan read each one and kept them in a drawer he never opened unless another envelope arrived. In year 6, a card came with a picture of a newborn baby swaddled in lavender. "Eva, I wanted you to know you're an uncle. I understand if you want nothing to do with her or me. I just wanted you to know." He stared at the baby's face longer than he meant to. She had Lily's eyes, big, round, curious. Year 7. Ethan was 33 now. Hands rough from carpentry. Life quiet, steady, lonely but manageable. One late October afternoon he saw a woman sitting on a bench outside the general store. Blonde hair tucked into a scarf. Coat zipped tight. When she turned, his heart stopped. "Lily." She stood as he approached, hands trembling. "I didn't know if you'd still be here," she said softly. He said nothing. "I'm not here to ask anything of you," she rushed. "I just wanted to see you. In person. I can go now." She turned to leave. "Wait." She froze. He hadn't planned what to say. For years he imagined yelling, accusing, screaming. But now, standing in front of her, all he saw was his little sister. Older, tired, sad, but still her. "Do you want coffee?" he asked. Her eyes filled instantly. She nodded. They sat in a small cafe by the window. It was awkward at first, like strangers navigating old memories. But slowly the ice melted. She told him about Eva, about motherhood, about how she still cried sometimes missing her brother. How their parents still left his seat open at Thanksgiving. "I don't expect you to forgive me," she whispered. "I don't deserve that. But thank you for letting me sit here." Ethan looked out the window, rain tracing soft lines down the glass. "I'm not the same person I was," he said quietly. "I know," she replied. "Neither am I." "I hated you," he admitted. "For a long time. I hated myself," she said, voice breaking. He looked at her, really looked. He saw regret. But also love. Wounded but still burning. "I don't know if I can go back," he said. "You don't have to," she replied. "I'll come to you. However long it takes." Outside the rain stopped. A weak sun pushed through the clouds. Ethan reached across the table and took her hand. It wasn't forgiveness. Not yet. But it was something close. A bridge being rebuilt plank by painful plank. And for the first time in years, Ethan felt something unfamiliar settle in his chest. Hope. A month after seeing Lily, Ethan found himself driving east again. This time with intention instead of escape. The closer he got to Maryland, the tighter his chest felt. The old roads looked the same, but he didn't. When he pulled into his parents' driveway, the porch light flicked on and the door flew open. His mother covered her mouth, sobbing before she even reached him. His father's arms wrapped around him with a strength that nearly buckled his knees. Inside, the house smelled like cinnamon and old memories. Lily stood in the doorway of the living room, Ava perched on her hip, wide-eyed and curious. For a moment no one spoke. Then Ethan stepped forward, heart pounding, and gently touched Ava's tiny hand. Lily's breath hitched. It wasn't forgiveness, not yet, but it was a beginning. A return. A choice to stop running and start rebuilding. And as his family gathered around him, Ethan felt something settle in his chest again. Something warm, fragile, and real. Home. Subscribe to the channel for more audio stories.